Good morning, as per usual, from the kitchen. We have a muggy, rainy day right here, so I thought it would be the perfect morning to talk to you about some homemaking tips. Because when the weather turns cozy, I just like really retreat back into my housewife, traditional wife style. I love pouring into my home wherever that may be. As you can all see, we have majorly downsized currently, not forever, and I will be talking more about that in the upcoming months. But anyway, the point of this video is that I was reflecting based on this rainy, muggy day about my best housewife homemaking tips that I've accumulated over the past several years, having been married for, I think it's 8 years now. And before I dive into the video talking about these tips, I wanted to encourage you all, if you're new, to please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoy my content, leave your comments down below, help the other community of women who are looking for effective housewife type of tips to include in their homemaking, whether or not they are a full-time homemaker or not. This advice can help everybody who has a space to take care of. But anyway, as you can tell, I'm a full-time mother because my kids are screaming in the background, and we're just going to get straight into the video with the first tip, which is the 1-minute rule. Basically, this rule is something I've been living by for the past decade, maybe like decade and some. But basically, it is if you have 1 minute and the task that you need to get done takes 1 minute to do, you do it right away. You don't think about it. You just automatically, instinctually do it. So, for example, if you spilled something and it needs to be cleaned up, instead of putting it off and procrastinating to a time where you're doing like a big kitchen clean, for example, if it takes less than a minute, you stop what you're doing and you do it then. 1 minute is not going to delay the rest of your day, and it's a good habit to reduce overwhelm and basically to take things off your plate for that designated cleaning time in the future, because of course you need time to deep clean your home thoroughly. This is just like picking up after yourself. For example, I just washed my face. It takes me less than a minute to clean the sink afterwards, to squeegee the shower. And this helps reduce the load of when I'm doing like a deep shower clean or a deep bathroom clean. The 1 minute rule will help you keep a level of tidy that won't overwhelm you in the future throughout your day. And speaking of the 1 minute tidy, the next thing, which takes a little bit longer than a minute, but it is something that is especially useful if you have a 2-story home or a larger home, or you're just somebody who has many people who really live in your home, like you homeschool, for example, and you're just constantly using your home. Having a house basket, house box, whatever you want to call it, a stair basket, where you take the time at the beginning of the day or the end of the day to pick up loose things in your home and like distribute them to the place where they actually belong, is a vintage homemaking tip that is applicable throughout the times. It's something that's also going to give you that level of organization and tidiness that you're going for in having more polished homemaking. And a big part of cleaning your home properly is making sure that you declutter before cleaning your home properly. So this is going to help you do that. There are special baskets that you can get on Amazon that are like fitted to the stairs that you keep at the bottom of your stairs. And I'm really impressed about like the types of baskets and the systems of things that you can buy. But really, it doesn't matter what kind of basket or box that you have, preferably something with handles, something that just helps keep you on track to have that designated time every single day to like distribute the items to where they belong. Next up, I encourage you to have like a closing shift. So now we're talking more so about systems, having a closing shift, or what I know one of my friends on here, Mrs. Midwest, calls it putting your kitchen to bed. Whatever you call it, it is so helpful to have a closing shift, which basically means you tidy up the main spaces of your home so you have like a refresh, reset in the morning. This will really help limit the overwhelm in your home, but also give you that clean space to mentally start your day on a new foot. And what I recommend from what I do is like the high use areas of your home. So this doesn't mean every single bedroom, for example, keep that for like a more so in-depth cleaning day, but the general living room as well as the kitchen, the closing shift, making sure all the dishes are washed, making sure that the blankets and the toys are put away in those spaces, because those are the spaces that you use first thing in the morning. You can even like add it a step further if you want to include your bathroom. Those are things that you could include in your closing shift. And speaking about the bathroom, it leads me into my next tip, which is a little bit more like trad wifey, but something I like to do is prepare the bathroom for use every single day, or at least like every other day. Just making sure that the bathroom is a nice space for whoever is using it, your kids, your husband, making sure that it's a clean space after I use it, preparing it for the next person, cleaning the toilet if it needs to be clean, wiping down the sink, organizing the towels. It's just a nice way to show the next person who uses it that you care about them. And in the same vein of the bathroom, if you are in a season of overwhelm, for example, postpartum, or you just can't get on top of whatever it is you're doing right now, the bathroom is a place that just gets grimy and gross and can really ruin your mood. So something that really helps me in those overwhelmed times is cleaning the shower while I'm in the shower. And of course, you're not going to be using like the deep clean scrubby bubbles spray or like that very intensive spray, because that will get on your body, and I recommend using gloves for that. But what I mean by cleaning the shower in the shower is that you can use Dawn dish soap, and you can use one of those handle scrubby things where you actually put the Dawn dish soap in it, or you can just put the Dawn dish soap on a designated sponge, clean the shower all down. If you have a shower head, spray it down. Or if you don't have a shower head, like take a cup in the shower with you to rinse the shower down. You can even take it a step further by squeegeeing and taking a microfiber cloth to wipe everything down once you're done. But anyway, the point is, like, cleaning the shower in the shower will help keep that soap scum and the grossness that tends to happen in the shower at bay in between major cleans, or again in times of overwhelm. Moving on, specifically talking about cleaning, if you are somebody who finds themselves like constantly cleaning, being overwhelmed, not exactly sure how to clean, I have mentioned before that I've used Toddy app, TODY, in periods of my life where it has been busy, and it has been like the best $12 I spent for practical cleaning tips. But I want to take it a step further and suggest my rhythm method, which will help you not like do too much, but just enough to keep your home in a state where you feel confident and you feel at ease in your lifestyle and your femininity. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but if you're interested in what the rhythm method I use, which is an overall themed day structure that helps me live my life with a better flow. And a good way to think about it is like a perfect balance between type A and type B personality. You can become a member because I have a video over there that describes what a rhythm method is. But for those of you who may not be ready to become a member yet, I don't want to leave you hanging. I just suggest you look at the rhythms of your day and the themes of your day, rather than trying to micro schedule every single thing, because what I have found is that that can lead to procrastination, and it can also lead to burnout. Many of you on this channel are seeking more of a slow feminine lifestyle, but you still have expectations for yourself and you still have responsibilities. So themed days, rhythm days that are flexible, somewhat open-ended, but still allow you to get the things done is what I adhere to, and it's been a game changer for my housekeeping and homemaking habit. And speaking about being in a pinch or like seasons of overwhelm, I want to encourage you to have emergency meals. I've mentioned this over the past couple months because our lifestyle has changed a little bit, but having emergency meal plans, I have a Pinterest board dedicated to that, which is basically like the lazy dish type of meals, like easy crock pot with like visual representation of like 5 ingredients or less, things that I can go to the store and pick up and make a dinner quick. What I have found is that like not having backups, not having emergency meals that are your go-to will overall lead you to spend more money by like having takeout, also not eating as well. And I find that a lot of us who want to eat like completely from scratch or more clean, just sometimes that is not totally realistic. So like giving yourself a little bit of grace and having those emergency meals on hand that you cook or that you can go to the store, pick up a couple ingredients for, definitely makes a difference in having a more balanced and reasonable lifestyle as a homemaker. And they're also meals that other people can help you out. For example, if your kids are old enough, these are meals that are like a couple ingredient meals that can be put together. Or like if your husband's not a big cook in the times that you are sick, these are things that you can share with him and he can help you out. I'm going to link that board down below. Recommend that you go check it out just for inspiration on what you can do for your Pinterest board in terms of emergency meals. But really what we are about on this channel is, of course, holding ourselves to a higher standard on homemaking and being a traditional wife and mother, but also being realistic in the constraints of like the fact that we live in a modern society, not like the olden style village where like people can pick up slack. You get what I'm saying here, but just like a good balance of traditional values as well as modern realism. And lastly, I wanted to touch on the concept of a running grocery cart, especially if you're the type of person that is not naturally good at remembering everything that you need to get at the store, such as myself. You want to minimize like going to the store in between as much as possible, which is something that I struggle with. Again, it's something that has helped me one step further than a regular grocery list, because sometimes when you walk into the grocery store, you are a little bit overwhelmed by all the choices, or you might not know exactly what they have in stock, is a running online grocery list. Now, I have done grocery pickup in the past, but I just find that they don't necessarily pick out the right produce, or like there are substitutions that might not be what you wanted. So I do like to go into the store, and my kids also like it as well. But like I just mentioned, sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed. So a running grocery cart like on Walmart.com or Instacart will tell you what is generally in stock at the store, and it will help you better have an idea of how much you're going to spend, which aisles you have to go to. For example, in the Walmart app, it tells you exactly which aisle to go to. When you are cooking throughout the week, you can not only add like what your inspiration for next week based on what you have onto a grocery list, but you can even skip that grocery list if you want. I still like to have my master meal list as well as like the cart. But basically, you can put all the items that you need when you think about them in that online cart. And then when you're shopping in the store, you can use that online cart as a reference to make sure that you're not forgetting any items. Lastly, I want to end off the video encouraging you to live more of a soft and balanced life and encourage you to take naps. My kids don't always take a nap nowadays, which is a little bit sad, but we still have quiet time, which is like a time for me to just mentally think about nothing and like sit there or lay there. But the point is that if you can take a nap and allow yourself to take a nap, if you have the luxury of doing so, even if you can only do that once a week, if you're somebody who has to work outside the home and like you take a Sunday nap, taking naps has been a game changer for me. And you really don't need a big nap. Only like 10 to 15 minutes will honestly do, although of course an hour nap is very lovely. But we often don't realize in modern society that women actually need more sleep than men, and many times, especially if you have young kids, you don't have the luxury of having like a proper full night's sleep. So you can compensate, and it's actually been proven that you can, to a certain degree, bank sleep. And one way that you can do it is to take a nap. Here's my big sis reminder that you can't always run off of coffee, even though coffee is delicious and lovely. And I always have my coffee here while I'm filming the video, but I continue to forget to consume it. The point is that if you want to be the best mom, the best wife that you can be, you need to start by actually taking care of yourself. It's so cliche, but I've always been a big proponent of the fact that it doesn't matter how much skincare you have. It doesn't matter if you have like an esthetician that you spend thousands of dollars on every single year. It doesn't matter what kind of hack. You cannot hack the fundamentals of beauty, which is sleep and of course eating right. But at the pillar, I would say sleep is the most important thing to your beauty routine, and as well as being balanced hormonally as a woman and being in a good mood as a wife and a mom. I use cheap skincare, and I know based on like the stress that I've had in my life, I might not be the best looking woman in her 30s out there, but I'm telling you, it would be much worse if I didn't prioritize sleep in my life. So I'm ending the video there. Thank you so much to everybody who has watched the video in its entirety, especially those of you who have become members, have supported this small channel. Hit the like button. I could always do a part 2 in the future. See you next time. Bye-bye.